Appreciate you. Let us know when we get to go, Mr. Perry.
We are live.
All right. Good afternoon and welcome to David T. Howard's Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda that has been emailed and publicly noted. I would like to remind everyone, this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members from the public are to observe quietly. I am pleased to call this meeting to order at 4:50. First order of business is roll call. Ms. Baker.
Yes, Ms. Antone,
I am here.
Mr. Abernathy,
Present.
Mrs. Baker is present. We have a vacancy, which we will hopefully get filled. Mr. Webb,
Present.
Ms. Reese,
Present.
Ms. Keenan,
Present.
Ms. Walker, I heard you say is absent, so I've marked her absent. Mr. Jones is absent, and Ms. Sheets is absent. All right, thank you, everyone.
All right, Ms. Baker, do we have enough for a quorum?
We do, sir.
Thank you very much. First order of business is to approve the agenda. Mr. Perry, can you please post that for us? If there are changes, can we please announce those now?
Yes, Coach Abernathy, I want to add a couple of items. The Go Team sent out some communications, and a couple of good suggestions to add here was just sharing the best screener information results in terms of the behavior emotional screener we did, as well as information that we just shared with our district leadership as well, school data.
Okay.
All right, would you like to add that to discussion or information?
You can add it to information items under the principal's report.
Okay, would you like that to go? I added the CAT meeting notes.
CAT meeting notes. Let's see. What was that?
Ms. Keenan had said that that was part of something that needed to be shared.
That's a discussion item, the cluster advisory meeting that we had last week. I was going to provide a quick update, and then we can attach my notes to the minutes. So that,
Okay.
that goes under discussion.
Okay, I will add that. Hold on, everyone. I've got to move some things around here so that I can be tidy with my minutes. You know, I got to do that. Okay, hold on. That did not go. Hold on. What is happening here? Okay, and then we are adding the best screener.
Yes.
Okay, is there anything else we need to add besides the best screener results?
You can put ACEs, just all caps ACES.
Yes, ma'am, got it. All right.
All right, can I have a motion to approve the agenda and amended items?
I make a motion to approve the changes.
Is that Ms. Baker?
Yes, sir, sorry.
No, that's fine. Can I have a second?
Jesse Webb, I second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Next is the previous minutes from our October meeting. Ms. Barnett, are you here?
Yes.
So we had an executive session yesterday. Do we have to approve anything from that today?
No, you don't have to
Okay.
approve anything for that.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Jennifer Keenan. I move to approve the minutes from the November Go Team meeting.
Can I get a second?
This is Audrey Reese, I second.
And I want to make sure that we do clarify, is that November or October?
That was,
Oh, I apologize. It's October. Yeah, the timing got a little off.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Coach.
No problem. No worries. I know it's been a while for us. All right. Moved by Ms. King, second by Ms. Reese. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we move on to our first discussion item, which is completing the updates to the strategic plan. And then we will vote on that after we finish discussing that.
Okay, let's see, I may need to share my screen, but Ms. Keenan had pointed out there on one of the categories that we discussed during the strategic planning work session needed to be updated as it had some incorrect information. And I did go back and I looked at the presentation that was sent out to us, and the Go Team office sent out the same presentation as well, and it still has the incorrect information on that. In that category. So we probably want to make sure it's updated everywhere, just in case it's used in the future. But I did update it. And do you want me to share my screen so I can show everyone?
that would be awesome.
Okay. All right. All right, let me see where.
And Ms. Antone, you're still making changes to that strategic plan workbook that we've had a link to this whole time, right?
Yes, it's on the same one. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Okay. All right, here we go. All right. All right, do you all see that? It says school strategic plan workbook and template?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so this is the slide, and let me make it larger because that is very small. All right, and down here at the bottom, let me move this out of the way. So down here at the bottom, if you look at that yellow category where it says creating a system of school support, collective action, engagement, and empowerment, that's actually what we updated, because if you look at the, what is that, orange category right above it with equipping and empowering leaders and staff, it had the same verbiage there that said strategic staff support, equitable resource allocation. And it's been updated to correctly reflect collective action, engagement, and empowerment. And I wanted to review it again, what we had as priorities, and also what we had over here in the middle and on the right side on the priorities and school strategies. And to make sure it still fits what we were trying to do there with the update. And just based off of the administrative team at the school, we did add one where it says 8C. I wanted to kind of get your feedback on, which was solicit staff input / feedback. Because we like to send out surveys to kind of see, hey, what's going on? What are things we need to work on? What is it that, you need? And so we did want to make sure we added that and make sure that's something that's ongoing, because we do try to act on those things.
So Miss Antone, the way I read it is that the orange box is related to staff support and staff issues, and the yellow box is related to the Howard community. Yeah, so it's engagement and empowerment. And I attended the Midtown High School Go Team meeting, and that's how they were interpreting that yellow one, that it's more related to the school community and not the staff.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if we need to push some of the items that are currently in yellow up to the orange.
Okay,
That's,
so,
that's my thought. And then we need all new items for yellow because our current items are still all related to teachers and not related to the community.
gotcha, okay. So really, here we go. So really, you could turn this whole 7A through 8C could be orange.
Mhm.
Still, we could make that orange. And if we're looking at the community at large, you know, our parents, community members, then we need to add something there to make sure that we're addressing that category and empowering and engaging our families. So with
Yeah,
that.
and also the 7 and 8 there should also go up above. But now I don't know if we have too many.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
that-
what I'm saying, maybe make this orange.
Well, I guess we need to decide. So
It looks like we need-
now we have 5A through 8C that are all related to staff support and allocation issues.
At least seems like we need to streamline it.
Yeah.
Okay, any suggestions? Opportunities, increase staff service, Because the things that are here, you know, I think we still want to make sure that we are doing those things, you know, especially where we have increased the number of teachers with gifted certification.
I think we can combine 7A and 8A. You know, ongoing professional learning for new teachers to strengthen skills and increase the number of teachers with gifted certification.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. And then we'll correct these numbers here as well. I'll make this smaller.
And I think 8C,
Solicit staff input feedback.
I mean, I think that could be part of, because we're talking about feedback in 5A,
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
just utilize feedback.
Strengthen teacher skills through relevant. Strengthen teacher skills and through regular coaching and feedback. So in 5A, I know we're talking about, you know, through observations and things of that nature. And then 8C, we're just getting teacher feedback on just, you know, operations around the building and just things that impact teaching and learning and the
And
culture.
that is empowering for sure.
Right.
I think that's part of 5B though. So provide teacher leadership opportunities. I mean, it's going beyond just departments, but master teacher opportunities, it's like, as well as staff.
Yeah. So what we could do on
Yeah.
5B, for example, I'm dropping all the way down here. You see MTSS implementation, expanded leadership decisions. We could say based on staff input or feedback.
Yes, that's
Okay.
perfect. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. All right. And then we will take this off.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other suggestions?
Should that be 8A now?
Yes.
Okay.
We
Let's
could
see.
combine 5A, I think, and 7B.
I think so too.
Okay, set 5A and 7B, recognize teachers, and you said 5A and 7B?
Yeah, I think at the end of 5A, feedback, and just say, and recognize teachers and staff for successes.
So do coaching and feedback, coaching, feedback, and then say and?
No, I'm sorry, coaching and feedback and recognize teachers. Or you know, what, you could say, okay, this will be better. Coaching / feedback,
Mhm.
yeah. And now say, and recognize teachers and staff for successes. Yep.
Ms. Keenan, you need to help me grade papers. You're really good at this.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think what we would need to do is just make this font smaller, probably,
Oh, gosh.
to fit it all there, to make sure it's all there.
There's an extra period on 5A that you can take off.
5A.
Yeah, take that extra period off.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Oh boy. Hold up, bear with me. Okay. And then really add these to the orange here,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I'm probably gonna have to make it a little bit smaller. But... Okay. And I guess we can always get it right? Let's see, 7. Let's try. Oh,
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
okay.
And then 7, we can get rid of the A. We can get rid of the A after 7 and the A after 8, because now those are just standalones.
Okay.
So now we have to decide, I think we push up 7 and 8
Mhm.
up above too.
Yeah. I think we'll probably need to make these smaller. Wait. It's kind of, it's all in like little. How about this? Let's see. So we're here and we want to put this, we want to put 7 and 8 with 5 and 6.
Correct.
Okay.
Ms. Antone, can I trouble you? Can you in the chat put a link to the document you're working in? Because I just clicked the link for
Here you go.
what I posted and it's not there anymore.
Okay, here you go. Put that to everyone.
I'm not seeing it in the chat. Nope, there we go. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, where was I? So we are moving this here.
Yep.
Did we get it all in there? Okay. All right. Now, so when we look at the community, let's see, what do we want to put here? Let's see.
What did we used to have in our old
and-
street?
And I'm looking at Sue, because from our felt notes, for Mr. Smith is finding a way to, what does it say here? Engaging diverse communities,
Mhm.
something to that effect. How can we say that? Let's see. Perhaps or increasing the diversity of our families who engage with the school. Let's see. It's been bold, so let's fix that. So increase the, what did I say? The diversity of families who, and I'm gonna have to make this smaller. If through various activities. Okay. Okay, all right. Anything else? I don't know why this is so large. Anything else we would like to add there? Anyone else?
I mean, I feel like we did with some of this because we talked about how to get more families to get involved with school. Ms. Poe had talked about how she was doing like little learning labs for parents to learn how to navigate all the various platforms.
So
Parent-
maybe, yes, parent university. So perhaps we could say solicit feedback from parents or survey parents to solicit topics, that parents actually need for our parent sessions or parent universities. So y'all let me know what you want me to put there.
Yeah, on types of support they want to help their students be successful.
Anything else?
I mean, I know that Midtown High School, it used to be called Grady Cares, and I think it is a cluster-wide thing, but they do a lot of outreach to families to support them if they have any needs, like if there's been a fire and they need clothes or anything like that. I don't know if is this the box where we do that?
Yeah, collective action, engagement, and empowerment. So we could increase the diversity of families who engage with the school through various activities, solicit parent feedback on support needed to help
Just
students.
thinking the collective action piece. I think that's how do we come together to do something, get something done?
Utilize, so I know the care team looks at the various needs in the building, but perhaps could we say utilize care team to create support for families in need?
Yeah, I mean, how do you guys take this box? That's kind of where my brain goes. Mr. Weber, Ms. Reese, I mean, what do you think?
Is this about, I guess this is just so I understand, is this about the kind of the whole school, or is it is the school creating a system of support just kind of generally, or is it just a system of support like individually?
So I think it could go for both. You're talking about when it comes to families and students, correct? Or like the community.
Right. Like, is this support if my child needs some type of intervention or something like that? Or is it just kind of general, like we have a family engagement team, that sort of thing? Just to clarify.
So I think, when we're looking at creating a system of school support, that we could actually look at how can we support families and
Okay.
if you're, they're successful. I see that academically as well as, we might have a family that had a house fire or,
Okay. Okay.
or what kind of system of support can we put in place to help our families overall? I guess that's the way I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Are we all in agreement with number 11? Utilize care team to identify and support families in need?
Yes.
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 Okay.
I think between 9, 10, and 11, we cover a lot, especially with the number 10, which would entail or include the parent universities, because it's a very broad topic. It's so many things that can be discussed. And with number 9, you bring in the diversity of the community. So therefore, we would cover a lot. I think that is the community between 9 and 10, hearing the voice of the community.
And so when we look over here at the strategies to work towards that for number 9.
One of the things that we talked about was trying to do some things out in the community, or rather than having everything be at the school. So, doing an information session at one of the, apartment buildings, or I know one of the schools I talked to, they said they did things at the bus stops. That might be more for elementary school though, because I don't think parents come to the middle school bus stops.
So maybe like, and I'm just typing this out to see if this is okay. Create outreach opportunities to reach families who do not participate in school activities, or
I would say just create outreach opportunities to reach families in their communities.
okay.
Or non-traditional settings.
Wait, what did I do? No, I can't see today. Communities, non-traditional. Are we good with that? Okay.
Yes.
Solicit parent feedback on support needed to help students be successful. I would say in order to do that, we need to conduct some surveys or find ways to get that information. So how do we want to put that? Or is there something else that we want to put here? Is that good?
I think it's good. Conduct surveys to solicit parent feedback. Or you can have, I guess that would seem sort of, I was saying like grade level socials with parents. The way it all came about with the universities was just having, parents have through Zoom, we could have parents come in, sign up and have groups, small groups of 20, groups of 15 to discuss, some of their concerns or, just the goals of how education has changed over
Like
the years.
round
Yeah,
tables.
that perfect roundtables.
What I have here, and or round table questions to solicit parent feedback. Okay, and anything else for number 10? And then number 11, utilize care team to identify and support families in need. What do we want to put here? The strategy. In need. So I know the care team meets, if not every week, every other week, to discuss students in need, whether it be attendance, behavior, something that happened within the families. And so we could, in terms of a strategy to make sure that we are getting the information we need to make sure that we're focusing on students that we need to, like, we're not missing anyone. Perhaps we could create a referral process maybe within the schools to make sure that, if there's something that we don't know about, that, the teacher could refer that to the care team, or families could even refer. I don't know, just thinking what strategy we could use that work towards number 11.
Well, I think too, our care team would work closely with the other schools' care teams, because oftentimes there's siblings in other schools. And so we just need to make sure that we're staying in contact with the schools, so that because these schools are also our system of community. So making sure that if there's something that happens, and if one school knows about it, I'm hoping that they would let the schools where there's other siblings know. So if somebody does need something, that we can then take action.
So Howard care team, let's add team. So Howard. So the Howard.
Would it just be coordinate with care teams?
Across the cluster.
Yeah, across the cluster.
Because it might not be a feeder school, but coordinate with,
Would it be unreasonable for the care team to develop rapport relationship with the community like activity centers, whether it be a recreational center, a housing, a housing, whatever they're called.
well, and in Boys and Girls Club, we used to work with the Boys and
Right.
Girls Club to do after-school tutoring and things like that too.
Right. So we can look at all of those places where we had those sales doing virtual learning, where we had, those pods, the church,
right.
the people the entities in the community that interact on a social level or another level other than the academic setting, because they may have a little bit more rapport, or they may have a better relationship with parents that will, they'll be more vulnerable and open up for especially those that don't feel comfortable coming to the school.
Okay, and how do you want me to work that? Do you want me to place here and then add that, or make that another like 11B, 11A and 11B?
I think you can put and basically however we can just capture just working those relationships that we have in the community entities.
Oh, I can't see, I'm sorry. And work with community entities.
To find out needs families might have.
Okay. Is that good? Okay.
Yeah, and just one minor thing, I would just start number 11 with the word coordinate.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, because we're starting,
Coordinate. I
yeah,
did
and
something wrong, let's see.
you can just get rid of, yeah, coordinate with care teams across the
Yeah.
cluster.
All right. Okay.
I really like parent university. I think that could go under 9. Like create outreach, either 9A and then 9B could be expand or continue with, or whatever verb we want to use. Maybe just expand parent university.
So expand parent university. Or that's it?
Options or offerings.
Yeah, offerings. I like that.
I use words. That's what I do.
Okay. Are we good?
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, we have some little formatting issues. Like, I'd be happy to just fix them. I think we can vote on the words and the content. And the only thing, if you want me to, is, deleting extra periods.
Right. Yeah.
Making sure like changing the font sizes like you're doing so that things line up. But I mean, we can do it now as well.
Okay. So,
But like 1 through
Yeah.
2D all need to be in the gray box. But that gray box is so small. The box should be big too.
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense.
You said 1 and what else?
So all of that 1 through 2D are all related to the first gray box.
Okay. So question, and that's Miss Barnett, correct? Are we able to vote on this before we make like formatting updates? Even though we have the content that we want?
Yes, you're voting on the content, and you can wordsmith or do formatting later. But right now, you want to make sure that everyone is in agreement with, are these the right priorities that we want to move forward with at Howard?
Okay. With that said, then we can actually vote on it, and then we could actually come back and update the formatting.
All right. The strategic plan now becomes an action item. Is there any further discussion before we make a vote on the strategic plan? All right, can I get a motion to approve the strategic plan?
Jesse Webb, I motion to approve.
Second,
Marjorie Reese, I second.
all right, moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, that passes. Next item on our discussion agenda is a in-person meeting for January. This was brought up by Ms. Keenan to suggest that we should have a in-person meeting. As we begin the discussion, I would like to point out a few things to keep in mind. Even if we meet in person, we still have to live stream. So we have to figure out a way to set that up to do the in-person meeting as well as the live stream together. Anybody that attends that's from the public, they cannot speak at all during the meeting or in the discussions. And we want to be mindful too of the upcoming new variants as well. So the floor is open for discussion on meeting in person in January.
Well, it was my suggestion, and I just think I think it's easier to collaborate and have more meaningful discussions when you have a meeting in person. And many of you I had never really seen in person until we met recently on the principal interviews. So I just think I think it's time, and I think we're able to do it safely between wearing masks and sitting far apart. But I know I have very much enjoyed attending the Midtown Go Team meetings as a parent, and have gotten a lot out of it, being able to be there in person and actually see the people. So that's my request, that we meet in person for our next meeting.
I think that the huge concern for me would be coming back after a holiday season. We just don't know. We don't know what that means. We don't know, we don't know what things look like at this point with the new variant. So that's why I sit with it.
Anyone else want to weigh in?
I think, if school is being held in person, the risk of having an in-person Go Team meeting is less than the school population coming together. And again, I think we could adhere by all of the requirements of APS, of wearing masks and sitting socially distanced, but I think it's time for our Go Team meeting to meet in person, and I'd like to see the school in general have more in-person opportunities.
I'll be honest, I would be fine with it because I agree, like 8 of us getting together in the media center, it would be easy to spread out. Compare that to the 25 kids and I in one classroom. I mean, that would be
Well,
safe.
it wouldn't be just the 8 of us. It's also open to the public.
Right.
So it's
But
not
we
just the
could
8
do
of
it
us.
like the principal's coffees and have a sign-up sheet and limit the number of people who can attend in person, and then the other people can attend via the live stream. But that's another point. We're having principal coffees in person with appropriate protocols.
Right.
So Ms. Barnett, is this something that we could just put up for a vote, or how should we go forward with it?
Trying to take myself off of mute. That is something that as a team you can agree on, that you want to meet or try and meet. Have your next meeting in person. that is something that you could just agree upon tonight. If the majority says we would like to meet in person, then you do understand we do have board members who, during the pandemic, some of them met in person. And then if you were watching, the ones who were not comfortable, they also were online, so people can make that choice. However, if the majority of people really want to meet in person and we can do it safely, then you could just agree and say our next meeting, if nothing else occurs, then we will try as best as possible to meet in person. And those who are not comfortable, we will allow you to meet online. And we will still honor that as a unit, just like the board would do.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'm willing to do whatever the group wants to do. If we need to just have everybody, since we know everyone's not here, maybe just do a poll and see, where we are and who would meet in person, who would not meet in person, and handle it that way. Because I think we'll get stuck here for
Yeah.
a minute trying to, figure it out right now. But I think that would be probably the best way to do it.
A good compromise. Mhm.
So you're saying doing a poll offline or voting right now during the meeting?
Yeah. Are we able to do that, Ms. Barnett? Do a poll offline with all of our members, since everyone's not here, and just go from there?
Yeah, this is not something that an action that you're voting on that would impact public knowledge. This is how you're agreeing to meet with your next meeting. And so if you want to get the feel of your other teammates, you could send a doodle poll. I mean, just like you would send a doodle poll of when you would like to meet. You can also send a doodle poll of in person, not in person, so that you can get an understanding of how many people would be in person versus how many people you need to set up online. So that would be something that you could talk about once you have your next meeting. You could just make it public that we did a doodle poll and these are the people who, were in person, and we have some who are online.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you.
We got the plan.
All right, next principals report.
All right, all right.
Oh,
so-
I'm sorry, Coach, we added the strategic plan. I'm sorry, not the strategic, excuse me.
Oh, the cat,
cat.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a very quick update on the CAT meeting. The advisory cluster meeting was focused on choosing a new signature program for the Grady cluster. And basically the accreditation body has changed, and the new body doesn't recognize college and career readiness. So we are required as a cluster to make this change. And the suggestion, or the preferred option, was to choose a signature program that's already being used in APS. So that is either IB or STEM/STEAM. And we had a discussion about the benefits of both programs, and the school district downtown office provided some really helpful charts that compare and contrast the two different programs. And those are in my notes. They're pretty long, so it's a little too long to summarize here, but those charts will be attached to the minutes. The bottom line for me, the big takeaway was the principals who attended the meeting were asked to give their feedback. And the principals in our cluster really had a strong preference for STEAM over IB. One of the reasons is that STEAM is more closely aligned with our current college and career readiness. And one of the principals mentioned that there's been so much turmoil with COVID over the last 2 years, asking schools and teachers to pivot to IB would be would create a lot of anxiety and hardship because it's just very different from the signature programming that we're operating under now. One of the other points that was made, Dr. Bachman indicated that if Midtown were to switch to IB, they would have to greatly reduce the number of AP classes that they offer in order to meet the IB requirements and shift from AP to IB. And one of the big strengths of Midtown and one of the things that they're celebrated for is the diversity of their AP offerings. So with that, there's going to be community input and several different opportunities to comment and input on the signature programming for our cluster. But there were many reasons why it seemed like STEAM is going to be the best option for our cluster. But again, there'll be opportunities for people to provide public input on that. And that's all we talked about for this meeting. We only focused on signature programming.
All right, thanks for the report, Ms. Keenan. All right, on to the principal's report.
All right, thank you, thank you. The first thing was personnel updates, and I'll drop these names in the chat for you, Ms. Baker. But since we met in October, we have brought on several new personnel. Dr. Angela Dubois in 8th grade ELA. We've also hired a paraprofessional, Ms. Carissa Huber, and she's currently operating in 8th grade as well. And that's part of 3 parapros we're trying to bring on to assist with lunch duty and, releasing teachers during that time, as well as helping out in the classroom. Ms. Aisha Stith, our parent liaison. Mr. Corey Hagens actually replaced Ms. Poe with the instructional technology specialist position. Also, we welcome Ms. Sarita Allen back to 7th grade. She was out on leave and she's back, 7th grade assistant principal. We've made a recommendation to hire for Ms. Marsha Reed's 6th grade social studies position, but we're waiting on that to go through. So as soon as that's successful, we will update. But that's where we are right now. And I'll drop that in the chat. Or do you need me to drop that in the chat, Ms. Baker?
I think I got it.
Okay. All right. Also, with a vacant Go Team member seat, we do have 60 days to make sure that seat is filled. So we will fill that seat at the next Go Team meeting. Wasn't sure who would be in place and, in terms of the principal selection. So now that we know kind of where we are, we will go ahead and have that seat filled in the next Go Team meeting. As an update, the next parent coffee will be this Thursday, December 9th at 9:30 to 10:30. And normally
Hold on. My little fingers are typing as fast as they can and I am not fast.
Okay.
All right, so the parent coffee, so I just finished up about the Go Team will be filled at our next meeting.
Yes, December 9th. We will have our parent coffee.
Thank you.
And it's from 9:30 to 10:30. Okay. And normally what we do is solicit parent questions and items that we can make sure that we address during the coffee. And like Ms. Keenan said earlier, we always send out a sign up so we'll know the number. If there's a smaller number, we could use an area like the media center. If not, we will use a larger area like the auditorium. So also, in terms of our FELT meeting, we did have a FELT meeting last month. Mr. Marcus Smith is heading that, and just wanted to make sure that everyone's aware of that, and they are working towards our goals that were set last year. One of the goals was to make sure that we join the Old Fourth Ward Business Association, and based on this last FELT meeting, we have successfully done that. Collaborating with the community, the FELT committee is creating a survey for our parents, for our community. They're working on that and they'll be getting that out very soon, just to kind of solicit feedback from the community about needs and how to best engage. So that's an update there. In terms of assessment updates, this was something at the request. I know Ms. Reese wanted to know about all the assessments. And so we've had district benchmark, well, at the beginning of the year, we had the math assessment, which we'll do 3 times a year. We'll do it again in February. And we're actually working on the winter map assessment. So we don't have data for that today because we're still working at it. And hopefully by this Friday, we will be finished. We did share concerns. You know, a lot of principals, students, staff, and parents have concerns about the number of assessments that students have this year. And that has been shared with our district leaders in my last meeting to make sure that maybe we can look at streamlining some things so that we don't have so many. But as a school, we are not doing midterm finals because I think our kids are about tested out right now. And that's just only those major assessments. You know, you also have to think about the assessment in class when you're looking at intervention blocks and assessments there too. So MTSS. So, you know, we're taking all those things into consideration. As it relates to the school calendar, this is just a blurb to make sure that everyone does the survey. It should be posted on our website in terms of, there are 4 options that our district has put out there. There was a meeting held with the community to also discuss those options. There was a lot of good feedback from the community as well in terms of navigating that and just making some suggestions. So make sure that everyone does that survey. We send it out to staff. And like I said, it's on our website. Also, I just wanted to provide an update on the universal screener that we took to share some data. And I can drop this link in the chat for everyone to be able to see what I'm talking through. Let's see, copy, and I'll drop it in chat here. Where's my chat? Sorry. Everyone, and okay. All right, and so if you are able to access that, I hope I said it to anyone can see it, but when we took that assessment, basically you have 3 points of data there, and you have the parents who they answer questions, you have the teachers who have to answer a series of questions, and students. And so with that assessment actually streamlines all of that data, triangulates all that data, and it provides a list of students based on extremely elevated risk, and then normal risk. And so if you look at the parents, our parents and our teachers, they both had 2%, you know, after answering those questions. That was about the you know, percentage of students who were at extremely elevated risk. But then when you look at students, it's 7%, right? And so one thing to think about there is while you don't want students to be in this category, you don't want that high. I think the good part of that is at least our students are in tune with how they're feeling and being able to communicate that, because had we not had that data, we probably would have left out 5% of the students who rated themselves that way, because next steps were for the counselors to actually pull in all of those students first who were extremely elevated, and they had to have chats with each one, structured chats with each one of those students as another layer of screening to make sure they had the right students, because sometimes the students didn't really fully understand the questions. And then after that, you know, contacting parents and making sure that wraparound services were provided. And then they worked their way to the elevated risk students to do the same. So just wanted to make sure I shared that data. Okay. And we'll do that again in February. The next thing I wanted to share with you was last week, well, all of the principals have to share select school data with all of our district leaders, and it's called ACEs, but it's actually a, and I will drop this into the chat, Ms. Baker, for everyone. But this is basically, and I'll tell you what ACEs stand for. Let's see, copy link. And I am dropping it into the chat for everyone. But this is something that all of the principals have to do 2 to 3 times a year. We go before the superintendent, you know, the chief of schools, deputies, everybody. It seems like everybody at the board office but we have to share our school's data in terms of what we look like, how we're doing, and discuss how we are addressing those areas. And so I am on the first slide there. And basically, one thing to notice for signature program, of course, that's blank right now. We are in the process of determining what that will be for our cluster. For the reading programs, we are using System 44, which is for a small population of our students during the intervention block who really need some the most intensive support. And we're using Read 180, Math 180, and then Amplify curriculum in reading and math. And so all of our middle schools are using that. We also looked at enrollment. We're 36 students less than where we were last year. And currently, we have one vacancy. We are hiring for a paraprofessional. We have 5 first-year teachers. If you look at the second slide, in terms of attendance take rate, we have to monitor our attendance take rate. And currently, we were at when we did this, we were at 93%. It did drop. Can you all see this? Do I need to share it? Okay. It did drop, but one thing we found out, if the attendance is not taken during the first 10 minutes of class, it does drop our school data. And so we're definitely actively monitoring that. Also, the average daily attendance for our students is at 95.8%, which is good. And students not chronically absent, we're at 89%. And so that's one thing that our care team actually monitors. We do have a dashboard in APS Graph, which is a resource that our district provides to help us monitor student attendance data. Also, you'll see that when you look at our overall suspension rate, it's at 0.33. And for middle schools, I want to say that the lower suspension rate I saw might have been around 0.2 something. And then the highest overall was like 1 point something. And so if you look at our data and you kind of, dive in and drill a little bit deeper, you'll notice that our Black students have the highest percent of out of school suspensions. And then you'll see next our students with disabilities, and then our males. And so what we see is that we have some students who are actually covering all 3 of those areas. It's our Black males, and a lot of them are in the special education program, students with disabilities. And so we are working with our deans and our assistant principals and support staff to look at this. And we do have some things in place to help with that, combat that we'll look at in a few minutes. Also, we, in our fall assessment data for MAP, this just here outlines where we were in terms of proficiency overall with reading and math. You'll see that the reading is, the math is trailing the reading. And based on all of our presentations and just across the nation, it's been an ongoing trend that the math is trailing the reading. But also, if you look at our school data, you'll notice that there are huge achievement gaps between our subgroups, particularly our EL, our students with disabilities, and our Black students when it compares to their white peers. And so one of the goals that we have this year as we're working towards our school goals is trying to close that achievement gap. And then you'll see here where it says HMH dosage. This is a part of our intervention block where we're using Math 180, Read 180, and Systems 44. So we did have to present that data in terms of where we are and what we're doing to make sure that we are on track. So the goal is to make sure that as a school, we're at 15 to 20 minutes per session. We have 4 sessions per week. And in math and Read 180, and in Systems 44 as well, 15 to 20 minutes weekly. And so we're working to get to that, and we're definitely making strides and making improvements. But we do, one of the things that they did ask us during that presentation, is what are the needs? And so the first thing that I did mention is that for Howard, we do run into a lot of technical difficulties in trying to make sure that our kids are working in the platforms and getting time and those minutes in those platforms with that curriculum, intervention curriculum, okay? And then the last part was, we had to share what were some of the things we were doing to address the data that we shared with our district leaders. And I won't go over everything here because it's there, But, we're really working hard to make sure that we're implementing all of our curriculum with fidelity, coaching, providing technical and instructional support. Our departments, each department, they've met and they've looked at the data and they've discussed strategies towards trying to close achievement gaps. In terms of behavior, we have a lot of different strategies that are going on, from peer mediation to frequent small group meetings, check-in, check-outs. They're part of the response to intervention process, reward system. So we are doing several things in that area to address our discipline data and to reduce the number of out-of-school suspension days. Some of our staff have recently been trained on restorative practices as well for level 1 offenses. With attendance, our care team really they work very closely with looking at attendance weekly or every other week to monitor student attendance, those students who have missed 3 days unexcused, 5 unexcused, and 8 or more unexcused days, and just making sure that we're trying to provide the necessary supports there as well. And so that's just, and it's more there, but those are just some of the things that we're doing to work towards that data. And let's see, and that's ACEs. And on that first, if you're wondering what ACEs is, it's at the top of the slide: accountability, continuous improvement, equity, and support. And we will go before the superintendent and all of the district leaders again, I want to say in February, so that we can update and see what our data looks like at that point as well.
Ms. Antone, do you want me to provide a link in our minutes to this slide?
Yes, ma'am, you can do that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, was that the last thing listed on your principal's report, Ms. Anton?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, I will announce the next Go Team meeting is Tuesday, January 25th. Do we have any additional announcements?
I just have a question. It seems the last 2 Go Team meetings, we are missing faculty meetings. And I know that last year we had Go Team meetings on Mondays so that then Tuesdays we could still go to faculty meetings. So I'm just like, I don't know, am I missing something by not going to faculty meetings? I'm just wondering. Like, should we think about maybe having meetings on a different day?
We could look at, I think that'll be an easy fix. We could coordinate that at the school level to make sure it doesn't happen.
Okay. Just wondering, thank you.
All right, Mr. Perry, did Ms. Poe show you the process for public comment to see if there's anybody that has public comment?
He did not.
Okay, I'll follow up with her for that for our next meeting in January. All right, so can I get a motion to adjourn?
Yes, we have our motion to adjourn.
All right, a second.
This is
I'm
Mrs.
here.
Baker. I make a motion to adjourn.
All right, Ms. Baker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you all. Y'all have a great evening.
Thank you.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Bye.